What's up, guys and gals? Today we have a Pen 5500 SS that when I was doing a walkthrough on it, noticed that the drag was tightening down or getting stronger as I was testing the drag out. So I'll show you what that looks like all in one take. I'm gonna wrap that around and we'll see. At the start it's pretty light. I'm still pulling it with 2 pounds. Let's get a little closer. And I'm just pulling, obviously, right? Now we're going to 4 pounds, and I'm running out of space. We're now going to 6, and this is getting stronger and stronger at this point. So why is that? Let's figure that out and what the remedy is for it. More often than not, I would say maybe half the time, if not more than that. And you can notice that this is very tight at this point. More often than not, the drag knob is the culprit, so we'll try that out first. Hopefully that's it. It'll be a nice, very simple fix for you guys, or what to check when you get something like that. So here's a new drag knob. Let's put that on. And we're just going to do it manually this time. We're not going to use that gauge. I can just feel it. I can tell you it's doing the same thing. So we're locked on at that point. So it's not the drag knob. So let's dig a little deeper. So you may be asking, why would it be the drag knob? There's a spring in here, and sometimes that just goes bad. I can't tell you specifics as to why that is, or not necessarily the spring part, but why it goes bad in terms of like locking the drag down on it. But the solution a lot of times will be the drag knob. You'll notice that a real drag knob essentially is supposed to look like this. When you turn the spool, that drag knob kind of stays still. But this one, when you put any kind of drag on it, which is right there, you notice that that drag knob kind of goes with the spool. And that's essentially tightening that drag knob as we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and check some other components, but it's all going to be kind of in this area where the spool is. But there's only a couple other things we can really check, right? One will be the drag, and the other one will be just the thrust washer under here. And it looks fine to me. But I might be missing something somewhere. We're gonna pop this off, make sure it's okay, and then we'll check the drag if there's an issue. The more I look at this, the more I think the size might be wrong, but I could be wrong about that. Honestly, I don't remember. Let me check the schematics real quick on this and make sure that's the right size, and then I'll come right back to you guys. Okay, so here's the thrust washer that the schematics say it should be, but I don't really think it's the size that's a difference or that is an issue. I just think that I think this might have just been kind of stuck to right here. I think that's all it really was. I think, who knows? But I'm gonna put this on, test this out first, and then we'll go back to this one and see. Because I don't really have the only theory that I have for thrust washers is just that. It's just a thrust washer. It's not necessarily the size of it. As long as it fits under snugly or properly, then it should work. There's, obviously you don't want to go past these those tines or those points there, because then you run into the clicker and then you can have issues. That kind of makes sense. But as long as it creates a flat or even surface on the back of the spool, then it should just work. At least that's my theory. So let's try this with the old drag knob and see. Didn't spin that time. Still not spinning, and the drag's getting tighter. Let's lock it all the way down. If I can pull this much. I can't pull that much. I apologize. Let's back it up a little more. And it doesn't spin. So we're going to test this one, or the original that was on there, just to see how that looks. And let's use this side for the bottom. And see if my theory is correct. That's pretty close to all the way down. And it doesn't spin. Yeah, so I just think that thrust washer was stuck to the shaft, or the base on the shaft there. And that's why I was doing what I was doing. Because the spool was spinning with it. I don't know how that can make sense. I'm trying to think how to say this to make sense to you guys. I think the spool and the thrust washer were spinning together to create a friction between the base of the spool shaft and the spool to turn everything in unison. And I'll say that's my story, and I'm sticking with it because I can't think of anything else. So I apologize. So anyway, it was pretty simple. Like I said earlier, it's normally in general, the drag knob is the issue, and you just replace it and it works fine. This case was one of those scenarios where it's just replacing the spool shaft. Even though we didn't do that, I still will replace it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you found the video useful, please hit that thumbs up button. If you appreciate content like this, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. I will say there might be one other thing in here that it could be, and I'm going to open this up and just kind of show you guys. I'll take a look inside myself when I do this. But you see this, that hex washer there could have been crossed up inside there, so not in the slots that it should be in, but just kind of crossed up to where it was dragging the spool and the knob essentially with it when the spool was turning. Alright, thanks again. And by all means, if someone else has a different theory, please share with the group. I'm sure there's a different point of view out there, so I'd love to hear it.